Charles is in Orlando. Hey, Charles, how can I help today?
How are you doing, Mr. Ramsey?
Better than I deserve. What's up in your world?
Okay, so I own an e-commerce business with 4 employees, and we did about $1 million in revenue last year and expecting to do about $2.3 million this year.
Nice jump.
Thank you. So as you see, our business is growing rapidly and expanding, and it stresses the need to have cash on hand in our business to keep up with our current demands and our plans for expansion. How could we keep expanding our business while being able to sort of live off the profits as well? It's a bit hard for us to sort of manage that. I wanted to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah. One of the ways I learned to do that, because I'm so driven and so entrepreneurial, that I've got more ideas than I have money my whole life. Does that matter? You know what I'm saying? I've never had as much money as I did ideas ever in my life. Can you relate to that?
Oh yeah, I can relate.
And so what that told me was that I would never get to the point ever, and I still haven't, and I've been doing this 30 years, that I had enough money to do everything. And if you're waiting to get there before you take money home, you're never going to get there, so you're never going to take money home. So we got to change that. That was the logic I walked through in my head. So I said, all right, I'm never going to have enough money to do all the ideas, so I'm already having to forced rank the ideas from best idea to worst idea, most probable to make money idea to least probable to make money idea. An idea that's going to make the most money the fastest idea is at the top, right? You following me?
Yes.
And then some of the ideas, we ran out of money before we got down the list very far, all the way. So all that happens there is, if I'm going to take some money home, I just don't get as far down the list. But you're never going to get all the way down the list anyway, so you might as well decide, hey, the reason I'm running this business is not sheerly so it grows. I'm running this business so I can have a great life. So while I'm growing this business aggressively, then I want to have a great life. And so we've had double-digit growth almost every year for 30 years. Some years we had 25 or 30% growth. You're having 100% growth in one year, but on a smaller amount of money. If I had 100% growth, it'd be 300 million growth on top line. That'd be pretty stinking incredible. But I mean, double digit is still, $60 million, right? And in growth. So, if I have double digit at this level, it's sweet. But even then, could I have, 15% instead of 12%? Maybe, but I'm still going to take some home and not grow quite as fast.
Right. I'm sorry. A lot of our cash is not even going towards future ideas. It's keeping up with current demands. Just the increase in sales that we have to just keep our shelves stocked, so to speak. So you know what I mean. That's what sort of makes this equation a little bit harder. While we also have a whole pipeline of ideas that have a high probability of success.
The only thing that comes to mind immediately, and I'm not sure it's correct in your situation, but I'll say it out loud anyway, is if I'm running out of inventory because I've got such a hit, the rate of sale, the burn rate is so fast that it's eating up all of my profits to keep inventory back on the shelves. Maybe I need to raise my prices and slow the velocity down, but make more money per unit. I don't know the item you're selling or what it is, so I don't know how accurate that idea is. But sometimes if you've got something because what would happen if you had more inventory demand than you could find cash? What would you do? Well, you would run out.
Inventory?
You'd be in back order.
Sorry? Correct.
Yeah. And so what would you do then? I mean, that's like the extreme other end of this. It's possible that you could run completely out of cash and out of inventory because the inventory velocity rate, the turnover rate's so high on the inventory velocity. And so the only way to slow that down is raise the prices, and that solves two things. It slows the velocity down, slows sales down per unit, but it raises price per unit and allows you to fold more money back in. So that's a really good problem to have. I wish I had that problem on a couple of things around here. I don't. I got a couple of them that are, but most of them it's the opposite end of the problem. But yeah, that's a really that means you got a hit of some kind, and congratulations on that. So, and I'm not going to borrow money into even a hit. So you got something that's hot as a firecracker here. This is awesome. Congratulations, Charles. Well, and that explains how you go from 1 to 2 million in 1 year. That makes you double your dead and gum revenues. Okay. So, yeah, because you're not holding that inventory. It's burning straight through is the way you're describing it. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. Somehow I've got to slow the velocity down and get this to a sustainable thing, because if it kept on doing that power curve, exponential curve on your math, you're going to blow out. You're going to have nothing. And you're going to end up with 6 weeks of back orders because you simply can't produce it fast enough. And so, yeah, that's a horrible problem to have, but there you go. Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head, Charles. I'm not sure that's a great scenario, but that's the first thing that pops into my head. Maybe you'll get an idea off of that bad idea, hopefully. Hopefully that'll be that kind of help. Sometimes I tell you what to do, and that's just what you don't do. So there you go. Good stuff.